talk a bit about your routine because you're in such a good shape. You're like you look great. You know, you're everything that you carry with you. I can see martial arts now that I know of part of it. So I'd like to hear about how that impacts everything else in your life. And I have just like what would you say? Why? I mean, I see quite a few actors that are martial artists or they're involved in fitness and lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. But you see a lot of those that are not. You know what I'm saying? So what would you say about that part? It's part of you, right?
It just becomes part of you to where and I'm not saying it's always easy. What was one of my nieces was saying, it's like, wow, Uncle Rob just looks like he just loves, because I'll put stuff on my social media, just loves being in the gym. And my sister's like, yeah, she says like he just loves. I was like, yeah, but no. And to the point being that I was like, no, it's like every day I'm not excited every day. There's some days where you go and aren't as excited to go train or lift or spar, but it's what your own personal goal.
Don't you feel bad at the end?
But when I get started,
what's the payback?
I have never gone to jiu-jitsu or gone to the gym and when I'm done saying, man, I wish I didn't come. You know what I mean?
That's what I tell people.
Never that is
the end
happened.
game. Is the end in sight, right?
The end in sight. You have to go through, and it's those days where I don't feel like, even if I'm a little bit injured, I'll just take a light. But it's the days that I don't feel like lifting or running, or just like the days I don't feel like rereading that script for the.
Yeah, what's your
routine
like? Martial arts or fitness.
So martial arts and fitness. So I set it up in a way to where it becomes a way of life. You know what I mean? You can sit down and you can watch your favorite program.
Like a week. Let's say from Monday to Friday.
So Monday through Friday. So Monday I will this is an insight to my my religiosity.
Just tell whatever you're comfortable
my
with.
religiosity. No, I can just hear my sisters in my head. But yeah, I'll get up in my routine during the day. I get up in the morning. Are
you an early bird?
I'm not an early bird. From being, I consider myself, when I was doing music or whatnot, but no, now I am. I forced myself to get up. That's another thing too, is like I'm not an early riser. So I get up before the sun. It's not easy. So I feel for people who are like, it's
You're not a 5 a.m. fan.
Every morning, I'm not a 5 a.m. fan, but I'm up by 5:55. So no matter what happens by 5:55, I've got to be up. This morning was a little different because my internal clock is a little funky now, but with the travel, which happens. But 5:55. If by 5:55, whatever it is, I'm out. I got to roll out of the bed.
Yeah. Somebody has a question.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. 5:55. Because I feel like I'm kind of getting up at 5 a.m., but I'm closer to 6. No, I mean, I know there's some numerology stuff in there for sure. I was like, it's a nice, not palindrome, whatever it is, but and it kind of sticks. I'm like, oh, I get up at 5:55, but also I chose that number because I know like there's something that 5 is an ethereal, angelic number or whatever. But anyways, I choose 5:55 because I feel like I'm getting up at 5 a.m. But really, it's kind of 6. It's kind of 6 a.m. So I'm putting out that hour. But yeah, so I get up at 5 to do that. I'll do my writing. I'll get up, do my warm ups. I have a routine I do.
So you do have a morning routine.
I have a morning routine. I get up, I do that. I try to capture what. I'll give myself 3 minutes about what it was that is on my mind with the dream that I was dreaming or what.
So do you have a notepad that you write down your dreams?
I used to use a notepad. I use my phone. I probably need to change that. I'm trying to do my best to get away from my phone.
Is it easy for you to recall your dreams?
Not all the time, but I do have more lucid dream experiences from doing that. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
How does the draw inspiration or give you answers? Because I see guys like Nikola Tesla, the inventor.
Yeah.
And he had a notepad next to him. He would wake up in the middle of the night with an idea or a formula. He would write down. The next day he would go to the lab to do the work there.
There have been some moments where there have been some occasions where I'll have a problem or something work out, in the dream as an allegory sometimes.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, do you go to bed thinking about something and then you kind of influences somehow?
I become more conscientious of that. Yeah, it does at times. What a lot of what I'm doing lately is letting it be. And what I mean by letting it be is I'm doing my best not to have an opinion about. Let me rephrase that. I'll go to bed and try to have some type of an intention. I'll try to like recap the day, which is funny because that's something that I've been doing for some time as an actor.
Do you write
with my
it
auditions.
down?
Yeah, I do that with my auditions.
So you journal?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that with the phone.
Okay.
Again, with me in that phone. I do have my phone on airplane mode though, so I don't really answer any calls or take anything in before a certain hour. That's for sure. But yeah, I'll do that practice I was doing as an actor, which helped me with auditions to let things go, things that I did well, things I can improve on. Write it down, let it go, and delete it actually. And then with jiu-jitsu,
has it been always the case?
Hasn't been always the case. That's something I've been doing the past 2 years. But then it's something that I've also brought into my jiu-jitsu.
I'm curious though.
Yeah,
I'm curious about that.
And dreams.
Does that make you sleep better?
That
or
does
fall asleep more easily?
That does. Oh, so doing that before the recapping the day and doing that, yeah, it actually does. I say that because I have been known to fall asleep on cars, subways, not driving, but I fall asleep well. I sleep.
Are you a nap guy?
Professor Carlos, I have dreams of naps, and I always say I'm going to do a nap on this day or that day. Even yesterday, I'm going to do a nap, and it never really happens.
Yeah,
it never really happens unless I'll sleep on a plane. So I'll usually get my naps if I'm on something transit, and it's moving.
Yeah,
but
gotcha.
yeah, so I say that because I typically sleep well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm appreciative of that. But I have, when I write things down or take a recount of the day, or an account of the day, whatever it is, the dreams are better. And sometimes I don't remember the dreams, sometimes I do. But it's how you wake up in the morning, so in that sense, yeah, there is a difference.
All right, so you got your morning routine.
Yeah, morning routine.
You did whatever you did. So
do that. Get up.
So on a weekly basis. How often you do jiu-jitsu? I know you said something you're going to see Higa on Wednesday next week. And how do you kind of work about your day on that part?
Okay, so yeah, so morning routine, boom, do that, do the writing. Morning routine, do the writing. Turn the electronics on, check the emails to the phones, go to the gym. So I make sure that I go to the gym that I'm doing this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure that I give myself time off.
4 times.
Yeah, make sure I give myself time off, and I have come to respect the days off as much as I do the days on. It's really that's really, really important. And then I will do that, go lift. Then I will go to jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a big fan of the day classes. So that way it makes it easier for me to go to sleep. Yeah, I'll do that, and then I'll make sure that I'm doing jiu-jitsu 3 days a week.
3 times a week?
Yeah, minimum.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, do it a minimum of 3 times a week. Sometimes it's more, but sometimes less. I mean, 2 times if I'm. But the past year or so, that's really helped. Is keeping that commitment, and also not training too hard. Like when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I was saying to someone the other day at the academy. They were asking me that question, and I said, well, I do my conditioning and my strength and my health stuff at the gym, whether it's the wind sprints or the assault bike or deadlifting and I have these things set up to very specific days. I do certain things, which makes it easy because I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do today for 45 minutes. And when it's done, it's done. It's just like I get up and do this, and it just becomes part of the way of life. And then when I go to jiu-jitsu,
you don't want to kill yourself.
Yeah, I look at jiu-jitsu as a skill set.
Yep.
A lethal, formidable skill set that can be taxing on your body. Yep. But I approach it as a skill set. So when I'm in there, I'm not trying to outmuscle someone. I'm not trying to do. It's what's the skill set.
We have a motto at my gym. Initially, it was leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
Now it's train smart, stay humble.
100%.
Because if you train smart and you stay humble, you're gonna go for the long haul.